Look at the moon.
Oh my god, this is definitely not normal.
Oh snap, we got to get the visual going here. We don't have our camera. Give you a second. There we go. What is up? What is up? Welcome, welcome, BTC community, XRP community, DLT community, crypto communities, Blue Crew, and all the communities out there. Guys, welcome to another DL Talk. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Thanks for bringing in the bullishness. And guys, thank you so much for the support in the past weeks or past month. It's been tremendous. Just looking at the analytics for the YouTube page, and your supports have been really coming through. So, you know, you guys bringing the fire on the way into these streams, hitting the like, new subscribers, new members, you guys are out of this world. Thank you guys once again. I am always grateful. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. Who do we have here in the Blue Crew? Jumping on in. And once again, guys, if you don't have a blue wrench and you're tuning in and watching, you know, don't feel shy. Like, you can jump in. If we're talking crypto, you know, give a shout out to one of your favorite cryptos or something like that. It's very easy to join the Blue Crew, especially if you're keeping it crypto like we do here. You know, and then once we hit 5,000 subscribers, no more blue wrenches will be given away. And maybe we start coming up with some perks for the Blue Crew as well, the same way we do some perks for the Green Giants. And then we're going to be introducing the Teal Trolls, DN's mad creation, the Teal Trolls. We'll see when we add that to the membership channel. I'll definitely let you guys know when that is announced for sure. But once again, not a financial advisor, not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. And I'm always wrong. once again, just always grateful for the support, though. It definitely goes a long way. It keeps us doing what we're doing here, and that's keeping it crypto. Let's jump into it. Much love to the Blue Crew. We got Bobby Townsend, Kevin Land. What's up, dude? RPM in the chat. Good to see you. RPM saying, I want to see some parabolic action. Here we go. Darcy saying, I want to see a dump soon. Here we go. RPM saying, no more dumpage. My bags are packed. There we go. RPM's ready for the moon, dude. He says, I've been packing and packing, man. I'm done with the dumps. Dump it. I got a big show. What's up, full of XRP? Good to see you. Or a big shovel. I see. Scooping up the floors. There we go. Speaking of, we're back up above 30,500. Great bullishness coming back from BTC here. That's good stuff for the alts. Let's see what type of alts have had some, probably 20% gains. It looks like what's been happening in these past few days in the Blue Crew top 100. Let's see what the top 24-hour cryptos are. No 20% gainers in the past 24 hours yet, but we got Proppy doing its thing, looking to recover there from its retracement from the big pump that it had recently. Origin Trail's an interesting one here, you guys. Track has collaborations with the Hyperledger, part of the, Hyperledger consortium, if you will, and apparently talking about supply chain, use cases for blockchain, and I think they may be an ISO 20022 compatible crypto, if I'm not mistaken. But an interesting crypto with an all-time high of $3.71. Definitely been on the Blue Crew's radar for some time. It had a really nice parabolic run. I mean, it was a crypto in 2020 that was at 009, went all the way up to 371, like a ton of bullishness. And I mean, it has a very low supply. So this crypto shows a lot of high volatility. I don't know if I'm chasing this 31% gains in the past 30 days, but definitely when it's red across the board again, Track may be something to take advantage of. We were talking about Polygon back when it was in those 60-cent ranges, you guys. And look at what Polygon's doing now, man. 7 days later, or 30 days later, 25%. Here, 7% up in the past 24 hours. This is why we go dumpster diving, guys. And I mean, Matic, is considered a very high-quality project by a lot of people in the crypto space. So, we were taking advantage of those deep reds. It was right across the board. And that's what we like to see is, green. Those deep reds turning into greens, that's for sure. What's up, Josh O'Hare? We got a green giant amongst us. Any day now, his Interledger egg's going to crack open. Good to have you. Who else do we got here? XDC Rich List is here. Check it out. Nice. Funky Fresh in the house. Guys, shout out to Funky Fresh 707. If you don't know of his YouTube channel, XRPville, shout out to him. And also shout out to one of our recent Blue Crew members from yesterday that we met on... we met on Extra Bullish Hour with XRP Bags. Crypto White Hat, man. If you guys don't know Crypto White Hat, he's our German rep for the XRP community over there. He's doing some, he's doing his part over there, spreading XRP awareness to the German communities out there. And, we've been trying to send a lot of support his way. I've recently subscribed. I'm sure some of y'all have also recently subscribed, but, got to show support for that guy as well. Darcy, learning trading is pretty much learning to be a psychologist. Fear and greed has a lot to do with it. Oh, certainly. Especially in this type of, this is what the wonderful thing about the crypto market is in these early days. When it's pennies in this market, the high volatility that comes with it, right? Because, the more money starts to come into this market, sure, that's going to make us a ton of money because of, gains towards the upside. But eventually the volatility, we assume, maybe certain projects will always have high volatility. You never know. But I feel like, the more money that comes into the space, eventually the less volatility ends up happening, right? Because there's more trust in the space. And, we kind of know the lay of the land and which projects by this time are probably, very legit, right? We are in an era of crypto where we don't even know what the real projects are, right? We have an idea. We can see that there's real technologies there, at least. Some of them don't even have real technologies, and they're just selling you like a freaking little token they made on, Ethereum and trying to say it, put all this sugar coating on it, FLR is a penny on the dollar. I mean, yeah, that's a deep red to be taken advantage of if you're an FLR maxi. Guys, we're almost to 10 likes in the first 10 minutes of the stream. You guys are amazing. Shout out to everybody here. But yeah, in terms of the past 24 hours, I think BTC just making it about above that 30,500 range is crucial. Maybe we were bouncing off the 30,000 range and continuing this relief rally. We'll just have to wait and see. But once again, up in the past 24 hours, you got things like Track Matic. We haven't talked about Knowles in a while. Knowles, Knowles not doing too bad. Let's see what's going on here with Knowles. Yeah, Knowles was kind of held back in that 2021 bull cycle, along with like a lot of other cryptos like TRX, XLM, and many others that didn't break their previous all-time high. But Knowles may be setting up for something here. You never know. It's been flatlined for a good bit now, like going back to May of 2022, right? So it's already been a year long of like no high volatility towards the upside for it. And I'm just even talking about going up to like something like 50 cents for Knowles, right? Which is totally achievable, it feels like, without even having to go back to that 2021 all-time high of $1.58, right? Very low supply crypto, about 123 million in supply. Once again, this is all like dumpster diving here, and basically a lot of these cryptos are garbage, right? Guys, I've been growing very fond of the Aqua token. I love taking advantage of Aqua token at around these prices. I don't like chasing the pump from the 30-day, 15% up in the past 30-day, but it is 64% down on the year. And this is such an early days ecosystem project that I'm just really excited for. You're talking about like, passive income opportunities through the Stellar ecosystem, and Aqua really trying to, before Soraban really gets underway, Aqua token trying to just show some semblance of DeFi on the Stellar ecosystem. And I think it's becoming like a crucial part of providing liquidity in the, and just making the ease of liquidity in the Stellar ecosystem achievable. Like it's been awesome. I don't know if you guys know about the Aquarius token, or guys use Lobster Wallet or anything like that, but you could be locking up your Aqua token and then earning bigger boost in rewards and your liquidity pool rewards. Like they're building something over there in the Stellar ecosystem, and I feel like Aqua is kind of slept on, man. Not many people talking about AQUA right there. They even presented like they're kind of like a crucial member of the Stellar ecosystem. Stellar's Twitter and the Stellar Foundation follow Aqua, and then they presented in Meridian, right? And we got some big news today in terms of a speaker at Meridian this year, but in terms of last year, right? Meridian Aqua token. Check this out. The Aquarius token 8 months ago, Stellar Development Foundation on their YouTube talking about Aqua, right? I'm not going to show you this whole video and this whole presentation. It's 12 minutes long, but we could just basically see the intro here just so you guys get a little bit of a taste. I'm not going to play all 12 minutes, but I just want you guys, we're trying to spread more awareness about, projects in the Stellar ecosystem, the XRPL ecosystem, right? We've been talking about Solo, since the very early days, right? And trying to take advantage of these ecosystems while they're young, and especially like quality projects building onto them. But anyways, let's check this video out. Let me know how the volume is, by the way, and I hopefully, yeah, crucial garbage. I hear you. Crucial garbage. What's up, Alchemist? Appreciate you tuning in. Oh yeah, man, this is like definition of a dumpster token right here for you, man. I'd probably go take a break somewhere, go hang out somewhere, because we're about to really dump into a garbage token right here, man. So all right, but you never know. Oh yeah, by the way, we got a new animation. Check it out. Do you want to make a ripple? Hopefully we don't lose that. Hopefully we can use that clip. I think it's fast enough and short enough, but you get the message. Bags and bags of garbage. There we go, Darcy. Everybody loving the garbage time. No, okay, so let's go with it here, guys. Appreciate everybody tuning in, by the way. Much love to the Blue Crew. We got some usual suspects jumping in. What's up, Calculon? Good to see you. We got Legendary. We got a Green Giant amongst us here. Shout out to Legendary, by the way. He donated a NFT to the channel here, and we're going to try to figure out how to use it, as part of our live stream or in our banners. It's a samurai riding a white tiger. It's freaking epic. Can't wait to show it to you guys. Oh yeah, that vid clip will make things moon. Is it bad, Alchemist? Is it a bad video clip? Like, does it hurt the ears? Is it not that good? All right, here we go. Check it out.
Hello, everybody. How was everyone this morning? Doing
Good.
okay? Doing okay. So I'm CMO of Aquarius. We're a
Wait, what? No.
Joey?
No.
Joey Krug.
Oh, Jesus. You accidentally click on one thing and everything goes nuts. Okay, once again, my bad. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. How was everyone this morning? Doing
Good.
okay? Doing okay. So I'm CMO of Aquarius. We're a liquidity management layer for Stellar. And our main goal is to incentivize market making and liquidity provision on Stellar. So a few people have talked about swapping between ARS, USD. Our aim is to try and increase liquidity on those markets so everyone can have less slippage and actually get great rates for their swaps on Stellar.
There we go. So, I mean, we can check out what they aim to solve as well. Here we go.
So we try to attract greater liquidity onto the network, then concentrate that liquidity onto markets that actually need that liquidity. And then that will allow for better asset exchanges at the end of the day, which is what everyone really wants. And we try to solve this through incentivizing liquidity providers and market makers on Stellar. So we're trying to use the Stellar DEX and the native AMMs. And so we implemented the first part of SHX rewards in October 26th.
All right, so yeah, if you guys want to check out the rest of that video, there you go. But that's what the intentions of the Aquarius token are. It's providing liquidity, right, and incentivize market making liquidity provision layer on Stellar. And it's been awesome, man. Like, you know, I'm holding Stellar on, you know, Stellar X and Lobster wallet, and, you know, have some Aqua, and you know, we'll see what ends up happening. This is super early days for this crypto. It's a swing for the fences. You know, I don't mind taking the risk. I understand it's probably garbage, but you never know what this garbage could bring over time. And if there's a real team that Stellar's supporting and building behind, I don't mind going for that at a 26,487 ranked crypto here. You know, I think it could definitely ride the speculative wave without a doubt, and probably, you know, is showing more use, if anything, out of a lot of cryptos in this space, to tell you the truth. Like, if you're actually, you know, if you're involved in that Aqua ecosystem and providing liquidity to the, you know, liquidity pools and holding Aqua, you're earning some pretty decent passive income and rewards, right? Like, this token's being used highly and often, and then as a consequence, XLM being used highly and often as well. Yeah, garbage, of course. Exactly. And of course, the only gold standard, you know, the company Alchemist works for, Ripple, XRPL, is doing some good things. Looking like XRPL is trying to get back, XRP is trying to get back to the 48-cent range right here. Can we expect the moon this month? Are we getting regulatory clarity, Insider Alchemist? Are we doing it? Are we getting regulatory clarity? What do you think, man? And the chat really wants to know, what are your favorite cryptos? That's the funniest thing, man. People have been asking you, what are your favorite cryptos, Alchemist? And I was like, guys, this guy's a Ripple insider. We all know he just likes only XRP. Speaking of Ripple and XRP, I bet Alchemist already knew about this news today. We are partnering with the U of T through Ubri to offer students the opportunity to gain technical skills. Read how Ripple fosters innovation in blockchain-based research and education with Canadian universities. So U of T, University of Toronto, Canada's top university right here, part of Ubri Connect. People are forgetting about the university initiative that Ripple's part of here. I do not collect garbage. I sold all of mine. Nice, Alchemist. Nice, dude. Regulatory garbage, exactly. Alchemist works for the city collecting no. We got to give Alchemist respect, dude. If his number one and only one is XRP, the guy's a Ripple insider. Like, come on, man. You got to show more respect to the Ripple insider and be grateful that this channel attracts people like that, right? Like, who would have thought? I mean, maybe we're touching, you know, maybe, you know, outside of the garbage talk that we have of all these other cryptos, like, you know, maybe we're saying something truthful here about, you know, adoption of ISO 20022, Interledger Protocol, XRPL, right? Tapping into the Toronto blockchain community with Ubri. Oh, Canada, indeed. Ripple is continuing to showcase its ongoing commitment to fostering talent and innovation in the Canadian region, especially in the growing crypto hub of Toronto. Strengthening its already strong ties to Canada, Ripple University Blockchain Initiative is now partnering with the University of Toronto. The university plans to launch an independent XRP ledger validator and will play a key role in recruiting XRPL campus ambassadors for future cohorts. And guys, if you don't know about Ubri and the other universities that are part, like, it's funny, it's not only the banks and institutions and payment providers, that Ripple has been, going after and educating on blockchain and DLT, but it's the University of Michigan, Penn, right? You got who else? Korea, Berkeley, right? You got all these other Korea University, you got all these other universities that are part of this initiative here. They are breeding the future developers as well, right? University of Zurich, right? Texas, University College in London, right? So they're also like helping educate the future of blockchain development here as well. Like Ubri is insane. And then not only outside of that, all the other acquisitions and investments they make in their, Ripple grant program and XRPL grant programs, like they are building the future of Web3, the internet of value, without a doubt. I mean, this is not, I hope this isn't garbage in Alchemist's eyes, because I don't think so. I think this is the only gold that he has on his eye right here, for sure. This is the eye of the tiger moment for Alchemist here. He's all in XRP. Alchemist's real name is Oscar Hernandez. No, who knows? I do not collect garbage. I sold all of mine. I hear you, man. I hear you. But yeah, so some really good news coming in, just people are forgetting, like, yeah, Ripple's, face to face and in the same room with all these banks and institutions and, businesses and big tech companies and a leader in the fintech, area, but also the connections they have to all these universities that are, going to be teaching future developers and future generations of how to, work with and code with, blockchain technology, DLT, right? Like very interesting, like how they're building out this infrastructure. And that's how you build infrastructure, right? Is educating people and, blockchain based research and education. That's what it's saying. Colleges, right? Colleges, Ubri has invested more than $2 million to top tier Canadian universities and colleges to foster innovation and growth in blockchain based research and education. $2 million to just this one area, you guys. They used $25 million to acquire Medico. Ripple has just looking like they have a bunch of money, despite dealing all the resources that they're spending on the SEC Ripple case. Looks like they have some extra change to spare, and they just continue building out their infrastructure here. Beyond the growth of Ubri, Ripple is also rapidly expanding its footprint in Canada. Less than 1 year after opening an engineering hub in Toronto, it continues to recruit top local technical talent to add to the region's exceptional office as part of a broader global growth strategy. Oh yeah, they definitely have a very broad and global growth strategy underway, without a doubt, and it's been taking a lot of time, but that's what happens when you want to be making a Ripple, right? I don't know if that clip is going to continue to make it for us, but we'll keep using it in this live stream. Hopefully it's not obnoxious for you guys. Guys, thanks for the 12 viewers, the 17 likes. I hope you guys are enjoying this type of content. It's keeping up with Ripple, and we're talking about, blockchain development and the education of future blockchain developers here. And it looks like Ripple's really taking advantage of their presence over in Canada as well. We've already been hearing great things about their presence in Malaysia. This is a global company that we're, seeing just make its footprint everywhere, right? They want to make their dent in the universe, as they have said before. All right, keep going through the news here. Appreciate everybody tuning in once again. Always grateful. Let me see what else we got here. So yeah, let's get into this BIS news. The latest BIS survey on CBDCs and cryptos shows that in 2022, the share of central banks engaged in some form of CBDC work rose to 93%, and their uncertainty about short-term CBDC issuance diminished. Right? So look at that. Central bank involvement in CBDC work advances further You're seeing how, I mean, obviously it's just a trend line that goes up, right? That's the only, you got the percentage of respondents and engagement in CBDC work. So about 90% now going into 2022, focus of work. So it's dramatically increased from 2017 up to 2022, guys. This has been a tremendous increase in engagement in CBDC work. And then the percentage of respondents conducting work on CBDCs grew more and more, right? Both retail and wholesale started to dominate, right? You still have a strong floor here with retail, but having both retail and wholesale started really increasing in terms of conducting work on CBDCs, right? And I love that they just keep throwing out the word crypto out there, right? Because they said this is a survey on CBDCs and crypto. But of course, this slide only says CBDCs. So this is really engagement in CBDC and crypto work, right? And it looks like both retail and wholesale have been very focused on conducting work on CBDCs and crypto, according to the BIS. This is massive news, right? This is why we keep our eye on the prize and the eye of the tiger on the big eye of the Bank for International Settlements here, man. They're just starting to throw the word out crypto, and nobody's, we're so desensitized to the news by now that when the BIS is saying crypto versus if they would have said crypto in 2017, the amount of hype that would have driven in that market, right? It's crazy. Alchemist's real name. Yeah, I hear you. What's up, Tim Shea? Appreciate you tuning in. Guys, appreciate the Blue Crew in the chat, and thanks for, your guys' input, and, shout out to crypto that you guys have been keeping your eye on, even if it's a garbage crypto, what's a crypto that you guys are digging right now that you guys are interested for either short-term trade or long-term? What are you feeling bullish about? Guys, thanks for the 18 likes. Shout out to all of y'all. Let's check out this clip really quick about transparency played against Ripple. But in the end, XRP wins, Ripple wins. Let's check this out.
Nonsense that we had to deal with within
Let me see. Do you guys hear him all right? I'm sure you guys do.
Ripple, because Ripple had this
yeah, you guys probably hear it all right. Here we go. Let's check it out.
Nonsense that we had to deal with within Ripple, because Ripple had this or Chris and the leadership had this focus on trying to do everything by the book and everything with regulators first and with banks. And I got so much crap from Bitcoiners and other people in the crypto community for being so in bed with the government and all this, And so then it's so ironic that then Ripple is the one that gets in trouble. It's just, you try to do absolutely everything right and then regulators still come after you. What's the moral lesson there? What are our kids supposed to take away from that? It's you're supposed to, if you try to do everything by the book, you're supposed to have that as an advantage, that at least, the powers that be are in your corner. But unfortunately, that wasn't our experience.
Oh, Stefan Thomas, his body language, he knows is a show. He knows it's a show. But he is expressing yeah, isn't that really funny that the DLT company that was forward looking and wanted to work with regulators and governments to begin with, from day one, right? To achieve mass adoption of digital assets, to achieve interoperability and work with regulators, right? Educate them, work within the system, right? And then he starts looking off to the side and he's talking about how ironic it is, right? Yeah. And then all the bashing, right? This guy knows, just check out this last half, how he looks to the side near the end of this.
Well, it's just,
yeah, he, he's trying to collect himself and he knows it's a show.
You try to do absolutely everything right and then regulators still come after you. What's the moral lesson there? What are our kids supposed to take away from that? It's
yeah, it makes no sense, right? You're doing everything absolutely right. You're being completely transparent with the regulators. But the great thing is that, they have that no fair notice argument, right? And, they've had former members of the SEC, part of their board. They were talking to the SEC all the time, right? They had offices in DC, right? You can actually see in even some of the meeting logs of Brad Garlinghouse with Jay Clayton and the SEC. There's definitely more than meets the eye here, you guys. And we were here celebrating the first day of the Ripple SEC lawsuit, saying this, believe it or not, is going to be the fastest way to regulatory clarity. And a lot of people, were hating on that, and they didn't think it, right? And they just thought cryptos would work their way around regulations. Yeah, we end up getting a speculative bull cycle, which is all good and fun, right? But we didn't get regularity. We haven't gotten any regularity still, right? But it looks like we may be getting regulatory clarity soon for at least Ripple and what they've been doing with XRP. Doesn't necessarily mean we get regulatory clarity with Coinbase and what they're doing with the digital assets, and we don't get regulatory clarity on Binance and what they've been doing with digital assets, right? And their journeys are just beginning, as said by Stuart Alderati and Brad Garlinghouse, right? Let's continue this clip.
You're supposed to, if you try to do everything by the book, you're supposed to have that as an advantage, that at least, you know, the powers that be are in your corner. But unfortunately, that wasn't our experience.
Yeah, so he looks at the side there and he goes, unfortunately, but he knows it's a show. He's like, hey, we've done everything by the book. We've done absolutely nothing wrong, right? So it's a show.
You know, in a good way.
What's up, Digital Orgy? Shout out to you, man. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, almost to 20 likes on the stream. I mean, I hope, you know, hearing from the co-creator of Interledger Protocol, the future of the Internet of Value here, right? And hearing about how he even thinks this is a show. He's not necessarily saying that, but he is saying, like, it makes no sense. We've done everything by the book, right? So there's got to be something else at play here.
I think it would release of certain documents, some of the SEC officials like Bill Hinman and so forth, even around the Ethereum situation. I think the SEC is getting a bit exposed that they don't know what they're doing. They're confused, and some were doing their own thing, and they left the rest of the industry and market in.
And, you know, shout out to Tony, man. Shout out to Thinking Crypto. Huge inspiration to this channel. I followed him a bunch in the early days of my crypto journey, and, you know, always grateful for all the education that he's provided. But, you know, we have a little bit of a disagreement of opinion here. Like, I think it's just all a show, right? So I think the SEC is dragging their feet. I think Ripple is just making their customers happy, the central banks, and SEC is making their bosses happy, the central banks, right? And the central banks are trying to get things underway, right? They're trying to get ISO 20022 adopted. They're trying to test bed all these CBDCs and DLT technologies while trying to manipulate the markets and keep the prices low, right? While living under this umbrella of regulatory uncertainty, right? I think it's more planned out than, you know, people realize, right? It's just too convenient that all these things are working in parallel with each other in terms of adoption of ISO 20022, development of CBDCs, no regulatory clarity for digital assets, at least in the US, because the moment there's regulatory clarity in the US, there's going to be a lot of investment in the US in terms of crypto startups. It's going to be a hotbed for, you know, digital asset and company, you know, DLT focused type of companies, innovations, right? So just look at how, like, you know, in terms of what's been going on with ChatGPT and all these AI creating, you know, type of companies now that have been developing. Just wait when you're getting regulatory clarity in the US, right? We've already seen such tremendous responses to digital assets overseas. Like, in the US, it's just gonna, you know, be amazing, right? All right, let's keep checking this out.
Purgatory, aside from Bitcoin and Ethereum for the most part. So I think some members of Congress are recognizing that, and they're going to take action, but we'll see how far they go. I think, I hope they can get this, at least something this year before the election cycle next year, but we'll see.
Yeah, but we'll see. I mean, we could still get a speculative cycle. We don't need regulatory clarity to make gains in the market. It would just be really nice to know what are the, you know, the real players in this space, and have a, you know, regulatory clarity in terms of, like, hey, it's safe to invest in this class, right? We do acknowledge it as an investment class, and you know, we'll see how they regulate it, right? You have 20 now. Appreciate that, Digital Orgy. Thanks for the support, you guys. Always grateful. A little bit goes a long way, you know. Just love the momentum that we're building here on the channel. Just grateful for any likes, views, subscribers. You guys know the deal. Remember, the World Economic Forum has named XRP as the most relevant crypto asset for CBDCs and cross-border payments. This is an oldie but goodie. I appreciate somebody sharing this here. But you get so much news, right? September 27, 2020, World Economic Forum names XRP as a crypto asset most relevant in central bank digital currency space. And right, we just had the launch of the Ripple CBDC platform this year, you guys, right? But we expect so much to happen so fast. Like, isn't it funny that you have the release of Ripple's CBDC platform this year, and then soon after you start having the release of Quant's Overledger? It's like they're rolling out these big products, you know, that are looking like they're leaders in the CBDC, you know, adoption space, right? Like things like Ripple, things like Quant, XLM. I don't know if XLM maybe released a big product this year that's similar to like a CBDC, but I'm sure IBM has, you know, in their connection with Stellar. You know, R3, right? Corda has been around for a good bit as well. So just interested to see like how this all unfolds and develops. But and you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm interested to see where Ripple's CBDC platform is at, and Overledger, right? You also got XDC with their Impel network, right? That came out, and how they're part of the R3 Corda ecosystem here. Let's see what all the buzz is about. Apparently XDC network is trending on, at least in my Twitter here. So XDC Foundation saying, hey, XDC network community, it's Monday, so you know what that means. From lively conversations, ETH Barcelona to community AMAs, the XDC network has been buzzing with activity. Well, that's good to see. So they have a little bit of a recap of their event. The mainnet's 4th anniversary. That's nice. So more than 80% of central banks see potential value in having both a retail and a CBDC and fast payment system, according to the latest BIS survey of central banks on CBDCs and crypto. For more details, here's another slide from that, you know, talking about CBDCs and crypto. I love that they keep throwing them in the same sentence. It's almost like you can't have a CBDC if crypto isn't involved, right? If DLT isn't involved, if the XRP ledger or Stellar ecosystem or Quant network or XDC network or HBAR network or Algorand network or Avalanche network, or, you know, you name it. If it isn't involved, you know, it looks like CBDC can't succeed without DLT, is what I'm saying. Why is my chat gone weird? You know, YouTube algorithm's gonna do its thing, man. They're gonna just try to screw these streams over as much as they can. It is what it is. It's gonna make or break me. Well, Omniflix, dude, you've been loving that Omniflix, man. Let's, you know what, we got to amuse Sniff here with his Omniflix shoutouts, man, because we haven't looked at the price for this in a good bit. But let me check it out, man. This is some of his favorite, you know, one of his favorite Atom ecosystem projects right here. It's down 50% just for you, Sniff. We're gonna add Omniflix to the Blue Crew list, man. So hopefully this makes you some awesome gains, and we see it in those, like, you know, top cryptos in the past 24 hours at like 100% gains for you, my dude. I hope you see the promised land here with Omniflix. Hey Darcy, same here, happened to me. They're trying to shut out the Blue Crew, man. They're trying to shut out our voices. You know what? Just like spam the chat then. I'll never tell you what to do, but I would just like start spamming the chat to make sure it's freaking working the way that it should, right? Ralph Cooper, always appreciate your support, man. I love that, you know, even when you're lurking, you're supporting. And, you know, for anybody who's lurking, just thank you for your support, for your attention, for viewing, for the likes, subscribe. You guys know the deal. You guys know how to YouTube. I appreciate it. Yeah, pump the chat. There we go, Digital Orgy. Make it freaking work, man. If it ain't working, make it work. All right, let's keep going. The Business Payments Coalition has transitioned oversight of the newly launched exchange framework to the Digital Business Networks Alliance, right? Fed payments improvement, very heavily embedded with ISO 20022. Let's check this out. It's talking about bank-to-bank payments, e-payments, e-invoices, right? All about payments, and that's the type of, you know, type of jargon or type of vocabulary we like to hear right there. Talking about payments, digital payments, bank-to-bank payments. Experts launch Digital Business Networks Alliance. Let's see if we can see who's part of this Digital Business Networks Alliance, shall we? Let's do a little bit of a side dive here. We'll get back to the news in a bit, and then we'll jump into our deep breads, you guys. That's usually the layout of this show. I'm going to open up the phone lines if anybody wants to call in and ask any crypto-related questions or anything like that. You know, we're trying to incorporate this a little bit more into the streams, kind of make it like a little radio show, and, you know, let the Blue Crew have a voice, right? Let them call in. Let's have a dialogue. It kind of makes the streams more fun as well. All right, there we go. Join meeting. Let's go. Come on, come on. All right, here we go. All right, here's the link if anybody wants to call in, ask any crypto stuff. Here we go. Oh, come on. Let me just share the link. There we go. Thank you. All right. Getting back to it. Here, let me close some windows here. I don't want to overload. All right, so Digital Business Networks Alliance. Let's check out their membership here. Become a member, benefits of a membership. No, I want to see who your freaking members are, guys. Tell me who your members are. Okay, so we got the CEO, we got, you know, the leaders in this, but I want to see who their actual members are. Who's part of this thing? Right? Easy to adopt, non-disruptive payment method, electronic payments, system agnostic. That sounds interesting. System agnostic. That sounds like interledger protocol type of jargon right there. Let's see their about us. I mean, this is all of one pager, it looks like. Participants from the Business Payments Coalition. Okay, let's keep diving a little further, right? Let's jump into this link and see who's part of that. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the request line. If you guys want me to look at a chart too, you guys, I mean, you can request it through the chat as well, you know, and no pressure to be calling in, you guys. I understand. It's like StreamYard, right? It's just like hitting a StreamYard link and jumping in. I use Jitsi just because it's super fast to like set it up. It's just really quick and easy to set it up. Seems to be okay now. Good, Darcy. It's good to see the chat being back and active. All right, so we're looking at the Business Payments Coalition, and let's see if we get any dirt here. So ISO 20022 for payments, gotta love that, right? Yeah, launching the Digital Business Networks Alliance, ISO 20022 Remittance Content Market Guide, interesting. All right, so we're going further here. You know, we'll take this journey with y'all. If you guys are into this, you know, thanks for the support. Thanks for letting me know, you know. ISO 20022 is a standards framework that defines the message structure to and content to enable a global language for messaging in payments. Let's see what else we got here. Let me just skim through this really quick, see if we got any keywords that deserve to be brought up here. All right, resources. No. I mean, I love seeing all this ISO 20022 stuff, but we're trying to see like who's part of this thing, right? Maybe if we okay, so let's do Digital Business Networks Alliance. Let's see if there's anything, or the Business Payments Coalition. Let's do that. Business Payments Coalition. Ripple. If we don't find anything here, I'll probably just do it on my own, and then I'll share it back with you guys here. But they're part of the Open Payments Coalition, which is interesting. Joining the Open Payments Coalition. But there's no Business Payments Coalition. Yeah, I'll do this as a side dive and see if we find any dirt on this, because this seems pretty relevant, you know, to DLT. It sounds like if they're talking ISO 20022, then, you know, there's definitely some DLT focused company that's involved in this, right? Whether it's you know, the XRPL or Ripple, Stellar, and Quant, you know. Going back with the BIS, they, you know, once again, they released the CBDC on, you know, a survey on CBDCs and crypto, and they're letting you know about it, man. The train's already left the station way out. They used to have images of a train. Now you're just seeing the trails of that train that it's left behind, right? Tim Shea, appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, it looks okay, right? Everything's good. All right, appreciate you. Some big news. It took us a while to get here, but speaking at Meridian 2023 for the XLM community, I'm very interested to see what Idris Elba, right? Luther himself, this freaking guy, Idris Elba, an actor, right? Is Stellar the next FTX? Is that what they're trying to do? Are they hiring all these big named actors now to speak at their events? Or is there, you know, maybe something more to it? Is Stellar getting ready for a big campaign, right? Publicly, by getting an actor like this. That's what FTX was doing, right? Setting up a big campaign, getting all these actors together. Hopefully they don't have the same fate, but this is interesting, right? Idris freaking Elba speaking at Meridian. You know, that's it. I bet he's going to be talking about like music or something, or NFTs for film or music with the Stellar ecosystem. That should be interesting to see. Once again, BIS talking about work on retail CBDC is more advanced than on wholesale CBDC. About a quarter of central banks are piloting a retail CBDC. The new BIS survey suggests that there could be 15 retail and 9 wholesale CBDCs publicly circulating in 2030. This is a transformational decade without a doubt, guys. We're going into the digital payments realm further and further the more we go in through this decade, and it looks like they're expecting by 2030 we're going to be having a bunch of CBDCs just floating around and being sent all across the world, right? R3 openly admitting, I made a mistake when we designed Corda. R3 CTO dives into R3's approach to interoperability and teases 2 new major milestones coming up that will deliver a more open, connected ecosystem of blockchain networks. And that's what it's all about, is that interoperability. And maybe that was the initial mistake there with Corda. There was no interoperability, but now maybe Corda embracing the interoperability aspect, maybe because they have things like XRP and XDC, right? Who knows what he means by saying I made a mistake on Corda. Maybe there was something more than just interoperability being an issue. We got payment infrastructure news releasing. Most central banks are exploring central bank digital currencies, and more than half of them are conducting concrete experiments or a working pilot or working on a pilot. Further results of the BIS ERG. So, all of these institutions are telling us, hell, even like crucial ISO 20022 sources are telling people about this survey from the BIS regarding CBDCs and crypto. They keep throwing it together, right? CBDCs and crypto. Speaking of a CBDC representative, Anthony Welfare just enjoying the trophy for Ripple here, working in Ripple NYC office this week, and very pleased to see our first ever CBDC award awarded by the Currency Research Institute that, has a lot of banks that are a part of it here, you guys. At the 2023 Digital Currency Conference for our Advancement in Digital Currency Best Sustainability Initiative, Ripple has a long history from inception of sustainability projects, and we are making sure that the CBDC team continue to develop long-term and sustainable solutions for our customers and partners. Anthony Welfare, just a good representative for Ripple, man, especially abroad. Monetary Authority of Singapore staff came together today to celebrate 30 years, of chairman. It's not really crypto related here, but we keep an eye out on what's going on with the Monetary Authority of Singapore at all times because of their connections with Ripple. CNBC saying Goldman Sachs says India will overtake the US to become the world's second largest economy by 2075. Maybe some technological advancements that enhance, life and, expected death rate or age or whatever. But I don't think I hope to be around by 2075. That'll be amazing. Hopefully we can be around by 2075. But yeah, it looks like, things are shifting over to the east. The wealth is shifting from the west to the east, right? Finding that balance. The 20th day of the year is July. So this is some speculative stuff. I know, if Alchemist is even tuned in anymore, we're talking so much garbage here, but, Julius Rose, just some speculative stuff from Mr. Poole. The 201st day of the year is the July 20th. The day Fed Now is supposed to go live. Interesting. Mr. Poole releasing Event 201, a global pandemic exercise, 12/16/20. The 201st day of the year is July 20th. We'll see, man. So much hype over dates, and it never really materializes, but hey, we know the steps that are being taken towards mass adoption, right? Everybody likes the dates, but it's not like it goes to 589 right away on that date. If it does, we'll be here celebrating with y'all, of course, but maybe there's some momentum, or maybe nothing happens at all, right? Like, people are expecting, this one date and lives are forever changed, and it's 5 digits in price. I certainly hope so. That would be amazing. It hasn't happened yet. We've been in this space for 6 years and hearing that same stuff, year over year. And we used to buy into it early on. Now it's just like, we don't need Riddlers anymore. We don't need date predictors or Riddlers. We just keep following what the BIS is doing, the IMF, the World Economic Forum, right? R3, Ripple, Stellar, Quant. We keep following those people. Bank of England, what they're doing. Monetary Authority of Singapore. Those are our Riddlers. Those are our sources, and helping us decide what to invest in and not to invest in. But once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. Legendary, what's up? It's going to be one of those days. Yeah, exactly. Everyone is a doctor there, but only half are legit. In India, yeah, I hear you. Wrapping presents sucks. Pff, yeah. What's up, guys? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Once again, always grateful for the support. We're close to 25 likes on the stream. You know, every big helps, guys, and you guys are amazing. Thank you guys so much for the support. And once again, thanks to any new subscribers to the channel. So another 721 release. You know, we got Oppenheimer coming out. We got Barbie coming out, and now they're speculating, you know, something's happening. You know, they cloned Tyrone, which is like a shocking thing, right? It's a shock that he finds out that he's been cloned or something. I guess this character in this film. I'm not going to look too much into it, but you know, we always appreciate speculative stuff, especially when it comes to the media and, you know, what's being released and why is this type of movie being released at around this time, right? Not many people think about that. It's like, you know, out of all years and out of all moments in time to release that specific type of film with that type of subject matter, you know, it's got to be a reasoning, especially if you're throwing millions upon millions of dollars into that type of project. XLM, aka extra large money. There we go. Smelt it, dealt it. I like that type of bullishness here, man. Thanks for tuning in. Here's a wrench. With the wrench comes great responsibility. Please, everybody, welcome Smelt it, dealt it to the Blue Crew here, guys. Our new Blue Crew member. Appreciate you tuning in. And once again, guys, it's pretty easy to get a blue wrench if you're just watching. You know, feel free to jump into the chat, shout out some of your favorite cryptos here, and you know, you get a blue wrench. Once we have 5,000 subscribers, we're not giving away any more blue wrenches, right? So, you know, we'll figure out once we get to that 5,000 subscribers, you know, some incentives we can be doing with the Blue Crew as well, without a doubt, as you know, the same way we do perks and stuff like that for the Green Giants. I vote Thailand. Vote Thailand. Let's all move east. Who's buying the boat? Collect me in Ireland on the way. There you go, Darcy. Oh yeah, so we've been talking about mushroom cloud symbolism. I guess some other XRP community members have been picking up on that as well. Check out the like kind of subliminals from a Shakira music video. This guy's saying this music video gave me chills, symbolizing the demise of the US financial system using a nuclear bomb in NYC. It concludes with Shakira making an X representing XRP, and then of course all the red coloring, right? The red symbolism as well. But let's check this out. Once again, this is highly speculative stuff, guys. I just like entertaining it because, you know, it's fun for me, but I know Blue Crew likes watching it as well. So let's check this out. So yeah, the big explosion happening. Oh man, you can look so deeply into this stuff, but you know, maybe there's no truth to that whatsoever. And you know, that's fine too, man, but we'll entertain it. Why not? It's fun. All right. Are we going to deeply believe it? No, but it'll be fun. Why not? Stinky garbage speculation. What a sad, pathetic grasp. Exactly, Alchemist. It's like, can't you just already see that Ripple's building such a global presence and we won a freaking currency research initiative award? Alchemist is saying this because he represents Ripple. He's like, why are you guys looking at Shakira music videos when we're literally winning awards over here? When we're literally growing our presence in Canada and now have added the University of Toronto to our university research initiative, right? It's like, why are you guys looking at this stuff? Why are you guys looking at Jamie Foxx being cloned movie propaganda? Like, who cares about that shit? Just tuning in. What's up, G? Appreciate you, Alan. Thank you so much for your support. Tim Shea, appreciate you welcoming Smelted Delta. Hell yeah, man. Check this out. Old clip from Dillip Rao, oldie but goodie, talking about first get banks connected on RippleNet to settle with fiat, then get them to source liquidity using XRP, then get them to hold XRP directly, the holy grail. Let's check out this clip. Check out this clip really quick.
No, so as I said, the X current product, the way it's implemented.
Oh,
today,
this may be too low. Give me a second. All right, let's see how.
Uses fiat currencies. So
all right, here we go.
So No, so as I said, the XCurrent product, the way it's implemented today, uses fiat currencies. So the convergence that we see coming in the next phase is for banks to have an option to say, do I want to use XRP? So instead of the German bank holding Turkish lira, they could say, Akbank, are you able to accept XRP and give me Turkish lira? Here's 100 lira worth of XRP. Here's 1 million lira worth of XRP. And instantly that can be settled without having to hold balances. So that's the holy grail. That's the ultimate end goal that we're aiming for. But if you don't have connectivity, you can't even start. So first you get the banks connected. They do what they're doing today better. They like it. They build new services on it. Then they go, I want to do this in 100 countries, but I can't hold currencies in 100 countries. Well, guess what? You got XRP. So it's a phase strategy.
So yeah, it goes through phases, right? First get the banks connected, which is the big deal, and then source liquidity using XRP, and then they hold XRP directly. We got Jefferson jumping on in saying, shouting out XDC. We love XDC network too, man. We were just talking about that earlier. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Much love. We love the triple X's, man. It don't matter if you're an XDC maxi, XLM maxi, XRP maxi. I hope we all just make it to the promised land and we all see tremendous gains. Welcome to the Blue Crew, Jefferson. Everybody in the Blue Crew, welcome, Jefferson. And you're tuning in to the OG Blue Crew here, guys. If you guys are getting a wrench in our, chat here, this is like the OG. This is where it all began. This is why you're seeing such a heavy amount of blue in the chat, because this is really the Blue Crew, right? And once we hit the 5,000 subscribers, sure, there'll be people tuning in, but they won't be able to earn blue wrenches, right? So good job, jumping on in, shouting out XDC, Jefferson, and same thing with Smelted. We got 2 new Blue Crew members here today, Blue Crew. Welcome, Smelted Delta. Welcome, Jefferson. Grateful for the support, you guys. It means the world, and you guys look like you're, into some really dope-ass cryptos like XDC, like XLM. We love all those cryptos, man. We're into the triple X's. We're into the DLT space in general. I just hope everybody, makes amazing gains and you guys are doing what you want to be doing in this, digital asset space on this channel, right? Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a pro trader, and I'll never tell you what to do. Yeah, RPM right here, easy, number one. You found a home here, Jefferson. RPM is like our resident XDC maxi here, or big time XDC rep, if anything. He's well diversified as well. But yeah, not too bad, man. You know what's coming. They know what's coming, and garbage bags can't stop it. Exactly, Alchemist. Exactly, dude. See, Alchemist was feeling really bullish hearing Dilla Brow talking right there. You could tell Alchemist is like, yep, thank you for continuing to show Ripple stuff. Let's keep it with that. How about that? Less garbage, please. Metaman X saying R3 core to settler XRP, but it could be XDC as well. Let's hear what they say about core to settler here. Shout out to the XDC community, of course. All right, here we go.
A transaction on Corda, Company B has an obligation to pay Company A $100. As the beneficiary, Company A can choose the currency in which they'd like to be paid. In this case, Company A chooses XRP. To update the obligation, Company A will get the current exchange rate from an exchange rate oracle, and then update the obligation with the new currency and amount. Having made these changes, Company A obtains a signature from the notary service and distributes the obligation to Company B. Corda Settler also allows users to add additional terms, such as the desired payment address on the XRP network. Company A updates the obligation again and distributes it. Company B is now ready to settle this obligation, and so initiates a transaction from their XRP node. This obligation can be settled in one or many transactions.
From their XRP node. Interesting, on a Corda Settler slide right here. Presentation. Good find, Metaman X. Let's keep hearing it.
Company B gets a payment submission confirmation from the
And you see it right here on the slide. XRP network, right? All right, let's keep going.
XRP network updates the obligation with the transaction hash and sends it to Company A and the settlement oracle. Now the settlement oracle knows which transaction reference to query for completion. The settlement oracle queries the XRP network for the status of transactions with the specified transaction ID. When Company B's payment has been confirmed, the settlement oracle marks the obligation settled, obtains a notary signature, and distributes the updated obligation to Company A and Company B. The obligation is now settled, and the counterparties have completed the second leg of their transaction. This has shown an important link between assets and applications on Corda and other settlement systems. We're excited to enable additional settlement rails over the next few months.
Nice. Nice. Gotta love it, man. Good stuff. GitHub and Corda Settler info right there. I mean, it looks like XRP network is still part of Corda's plans for sure. Who do we got? We got Alan saying XRP is his number 1, XLM number 2, XDC number 3. We got RPM saying XDC the platinum, XLM the gold, and XRP the silver. There we go. Let me see. Based on their scarcity. I see. Good to see you on Rob Art stream the other day, Alan. Dude, Rob Art is still doing his thing, man. Shout out to Rob Art, man. I remember that guy in the early days when he would be just doing, he would be running or doing power walks while streaming, dude. And it was, you know, he was bringing the fire at that time for sure. RPM, I don't know if he still is. If he still is, awesome, man. RPM, I go for adoption and use case in years of proven track record. Oh, yeah, exactly. And those three definitely have many years of proven track record, right? Without a doubt. How far are we from XRPL AMM? If Hooks is taking this long, I say we aren't out of beta until 2027. Apex Crypto's bringing some reality here, right? Like, you know, sometimes the hype is way ahead of the reality. And in terms of the speed of development, right? And Hooks, sure, it's under development, but when is this thing going to be really rolling out? And it looks like it's going to still be, you know, Sorobon still seems like it'll be years out, as well as the smart contracts platform for XLM, right? So we're talking about a few years out for both of these, you know, very unique consensus algorithms in XRP and XLM, you know, with Hooks and Sorobon. Yeah, I mean, it continues to look like Zinfin existing since 2017 exactly, and then XRP since 2012. And if you guys check out our shorts that we've been releasing daily on the channel, we released a short today with David Schwartz talking about the importance of what XRP has done in terms of this dang it, I forgot what they call it. It's called the initiative, or what's it called? Dang it. Here, let's just check out the video really quick. Let me show you guys really quick. I already forgot what he was calling it, and I don't want to butcher it by trying to guess what it's called, but it was basically a major difference of what the XRPL brought to crypto versus what BTC brought to crypto here, right? And a problem that happened way in the past with BTC that a lot of people don't know about, right? This is a thing to be aware of. Here we go. So crucial difference of XRP and BTC. Check this out.
If I have to call out.
All right. And this is on our shorts page if you guys want to rewatch this after we play it, but here we go.
One innovation that happened in the XRP ledger after its initial deployment as a major innovation, it would be this invariant checking. Think about something
Invariant checking.
that you really don't want to happen in a blockchain. Like, you don't want there to ever be too many Bitcoins. Like, some bug that created more Bitcoins would be terrible. We had one of those in 2013, and it was pretty terrible. And you could have the same imagined problem with the XRP ledger. What if there's some bug that allows people to create XRP? And if you ask me, like, how do I know that there isn't a bug like that? The only answer that I could give you prior to invariant checking would be look over the code, and you won't find any way to create Bitcoins. You won't find any way to create XRP. If you do, tell me, I'll fix it. That'd be really, really bad. But I'm pretty sure in those tens of thousands of lines of code, you won't find a bug like that. Oops, but somebody did in 2013. That's a
Oops, but somebody did in 2013 for Bitcoin, right? So what the XRPL brought was invariant checking, which allows for you to really solidify the finite amount of this damn token through the code. And that's something that BTC was missing, was invariant checking. And so you end up getting a bug that was creating more Bitcoins in 2013 on the Bitcoin code.
a terrible answer. What you want to have is one line of code that says there can't be more than this number of Bitcoins, or there can't be more than this amount of XRP. And that's what invariant checking does for you. If I had to call out one innovation...
So yeah, that's what invariant checking does for you, right? So, you know, one of the other major innovations here for the XRPL. Cool Cat Crypto saying Cosmos is the airport of the blockchain. I mean, dude, Cosmos IBC is showing, you know, is a great example of interoperability amongst blockchains, right? Alchemist saying Cosmos is a garbage airport. I mean, it is inflationary. That's one of the things that's kind of against the Atom ecosystem right there. But you know, they have an interesting community of developers. I don't believe in every single project that's on the Atom ecosystem, but I do like projects like, you know, of course, the Atom token itself as a speculative investment, and you know what they've been doing with IBC, inter blockchain communication. At least they're showing interoperability between blockchains, which we, you know, you can't really say for a lot of other cryptos in the space outside of them saying that they're doing it, right? But you're not really seeing examples of it, right? So Atom with the IBC showing that example. You got Overledger tackling interoperability amongst blockchains as well. And then you got the Interledger protocol trying to do interoperability for all ledgers, for all value, not just only blockchains, right? So you want to talk about an airport of value, then we'll talk about Interledger protocol. But yeah, maybe the airport of blockchains could be IBC. It's been around for a good bit. Looks like it's growing and continuing to grow, right? Don't be fudding Adam. Oh, dude, I mean, I'm not trying to FUD Adam. I was, you know, Blue Crew can attest, and you can check the receipts, man. Like, we were big on the Adam before the hype cycle began, right? Before people even were really aware of Adam the way that they are now, right? We were here, yeah, $2, somewhere around there, $5, $2, Adam, right? So we were really big on this ecosystem. I think we even did deep dives on it as well. And I'm not saying that it's a crap crypto, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you know, in terms of the other projects that are being released in that IBC, not each of them is like amazing and gold, right? It's like, you know, there's a select few that I personally like: Atom, Osmo, Iris Network, maybe AKT, even though they don't deliver on their promises. So I'm not really too happy with AKT, but we have to dig ourselves out of a hole with that one, right? That was definitely one of our biggest wrong calls on the channel, without a doubt. But you know, we'll see how time goes. But yeah, the Cosmos ecosystem, you know, we're excited about, without a doubt. Like, if they just continue developing and continue doing their thing, we'll see what ends up happening. But you know, we'll see. You know, these are the times to be, like, you know, taking swings at a thing like a Cosmos or these staking platforms to build up staking positions before the bull cycles do come. And you know, you start seeing, you know, we look at a crypto here that we were just talking about being undervalued. You know, now it has a 20% bump in the past 30 days. I remember talking about XMR here with you guys, up 20% in the past 30 days. You know, what was it down to? It was like at 140 or 130 or something like that. So good to see XMR doing some good things. I just had to jump into that because I just noticed that right now. But anyways, guys, that's the end of the news segment. Let's jump into the deep reds. And guys, BTC is creating some hella momentum right now. I gotta stop saying hella. What am I, from NorCal? I'm freaking SoCal guy. Here we go. But BTC, we started out the stream here at $30,500, now $30,875 for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's moving, guys. Bitcoin's moving. And, you know, appreciate everybody tuning in. Once again, we're close to 30 likes as we're getting close to the end of the stream here. And guys, appreciate you guys continuing to hit that like button and, you know, subscribing, continuing to do the YouTube thing. I appreciate it. You know, it helps out the channel a ton. But it's the Cosmos logo, 1988 edition, the Cosmos logo. Some mistake it for the Stellar logo. Oh, you're talking about the what's it called, that the circle with the line through it, right? I mean, there's a lot of cryptos that have that type of dimension to it, man. There's a lot of cryptos that have that for sure. But I understand maybe it was originally the Cosmos logo, but I am also not going to be investing just based off a 1988 magazine that was released. I don't mind speculating into it, but I want to actually see some, you know, part of the... I'm not investing in Cosmos because of a 1988 magazine is what I'm saying. I'm investing in Cosmos because there's actual utility being shown in that ecosystem. There's real developers building on a real technology. And, you know, we want to go for the real boats in this channel, right? We want to go after, you know, sometimes we speculate on paper boats and hopefully we can jump off of them before they sink. But we want the real boats, right? The ones that have real technologies, real groups of developers. Whether a 1988 magazine has symbolism that may be correlated with it or not, right? You know, I hope we can just get that clear. I hope you're not just invested because in the 1988 magazine, my dude. I hope you know more about the Cosmos ecosystem than just that. I prefer to use the Simpsons. Yeah, I see. Okay, there we go. Alchemist doing his Simpsons future predictions there as well. Adulterations of my investing tips. Oh my god, did we lose connection? Are we okay, guys? Are we still streaming? Are you guys still here? Can you guys see me? Panic, panic. Danger, Will Robinson. There we go. The staking rewards with Cosmos have huge residual income potential in the future. Oh yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Totally. Yeah, staking for Cosmos, staking on AVAX, staking on Tezos. Yeah, definitely some really good percentages in staking without a doubt. Very high volatility though, man. It's, you know, it's not Kava is another one that's an interesting one in the Kava Cosmos ecosystem there. All fine. Darcy, appreciate you. Bullish stupidity. Hey, I'm one of them, Alchemist. I ain't the smartest, you know, out of the bunch either, my man. You know, we go through garbage daily, and we're about to go through the garbage right now. Guys, I just got to shout out Matic going from 71 cents to 74 cents during this stream. Some really good momentum happening in the past 24 hours. Let's see what else is going on in the crypto space. We'll go through the cryptos that are up in the past 24 hours here. So Matic leading the way. BCH has been on a tear. It's getting closer to $300 now. Unbelievable. SHX moving on up. Let's go, SHX. Let's freaking go. 6% up in the past hour. We brought some SHX bullishness with the stream here, guys. If you guys don't know, this channel is a big fan. You know, SHX is like a deep red dumpster darling right here for us, and we love just exploiting the volatility of it because it's such a low cap crypto. But it also checks out you know, a good amount of boxes with its collaborations with Ripple and XRPL development, and then also the Stellar ecosystem. You know, we think it's a diamond in the rough for sure, but damn, man, we love the fun volatility that happens day in, day out. Up 6% in the past hour, 4% in the past 24 hours. Let's see, man. I feel like it's maybe like every time it keeps going into that 0003 range, it seems like a good swing to try to get it back, you know, make a good short-term trade and it gets back up to 0004 range. Once again, nothing's guaranteed, and this thing can collapse to 0002 or 000100 for all we know. But hey, it's a Stellar ecosystem token, and we're excited about it and just celebrating the short-term gains with it at the moment. Casper, we've been talking about recently, liking its momentum, and you know, somebody asked, would we rather be purchasing Quant right now or Casper? And I said, in terms of a short-term tradle, I like Casper. In terms of long-term, I like building out my positions there with QNT. But yeah, let's go into the deep reds now, guys. Let's check out the cryptos in the past 30 days that haven't been doing so well, that maybe have some good opportunities ahead of us. All right. This thing's all mixed up here. Let me reload our live coin watch here. Hold strong. Yeah, strong hold strong. There we go. Yeah, dude, we love SHX on this channel, man. It's one of those fun, like, you know, swing for the fences type of cryptos, you know, in the same way like a casino coin is, or, you know, Aqua tokens at around the same price range, right? Those are our two, we said it on our Twitter. I mean, it's not a big deal or anything, but our two favorite XLM cryptos are Aqua and SHX. So yeah, good opportunities there without a doubt. But yeah, crypto's down in the past 30 days that, you know, hey, Sniff is all about OmniFlix right here. He's saying OmniFlix under 10 cents with its staking rewards. He's all about the flicks here and a 1 billion total supply. I certainly hope you see the promised land here, my dude. But hey, this looks like a good deep red, right? Hey, at least you're jumping in the reds here at under 10 cents. I'm not sure if you jumped in before, but hopefully you see the promised land nonetheless. Multi-chain at 32 cents right here in the dumpster with us. You know, looking at all of Alchemist's favorite garbage right here, that's for sure. Multi-chain connections with Ripple though, Alchemist. I mean, I know you're a Ripple insider. Like, can you tell us a little bit more about the XRPL's connection with multi-chain by chance? Because Ripple X went out of their way to acknowledge multi-chain, right? And this is connected with the Fusion network, right? So FSN. We love going back to XX network here at the 10 cent range. XX network, guys, is a new kid on the block, you know, but already involved with, you know, in CBDC work and everything that's going on. You see Chris Larson is excited about this platform, Elixir XX network. very early days. We love starting to build our positions here and seeing what the journey is going to be like from here on out for XX Network. Hopefully, you know, we found a floor here. It's really hard to judge with a lot of these new cryptos in the space to see what their ultimate floor is going to be. But hopefully here, 10 cents for XX Network is the floor. You got XDC Network at 3.1 cents. I think XDC, you know, I like XDC under a nickel. It's still up 17% on the year, so it's not like our definitive type of deep red here, but man, there is some strong bullish, like the fact that XDC is holding really strong during the bear cycle above a penny, right? When it's a crypto that ascended up to 19 cents from sub a penny ranges, you know, there's some strength in this one, right? That's all I want to say. There's some strength in this crypto in terms of the bullishness and the type of floor that it's creating, right? So we're keeping our eye out on that one as well. We like the triple X's, of course. Cool Cap Crypto saying Adam SHX. There we go. What's up, Marvin D? Or Marvin Davis? Sorry, I don't know why I called you Marvin D, man. Appreciate you tuning in. The stinkiest of garbage, vomit time. I'm sorry, Alchemist. I know I try to make the Blue Crew happy, man, but I know just Alchemist is just like, this is when he tunes out. This is when he calls it the end of the stream. He's like, we're freaking dumpster diving. I'm out. Here to support you, my man, but can't support the trash. But anyways, looking for some other deep reds here. Corium, you know, part of the Sologenic ecosystem, XRPL ecosystem. I like Corium at 10 cents as well, especially with that low of supply of 505 million. Corium, you know, red across the board, looking like a good deep red here, man. Could show some high volatility. Has pretty decent volume for, you know, a very low cap crypto. Apparently being ranked 22,000 in the live coin watch ranks here. I think Corium is going to definitely make some really nice ascensions towards the upside. I'm not saying it's a crypto that'll be in the top 100 or anything. Sure, maybe there's that type of upside for it. But, you know, we don't need to go, you know, that far. Like with the 500 million supply, going to $1 or $3 seems achievable for something like Corium in a speculative market. Once again, you know, we're not in a utility phase. There's no regulatory clarity yet, but it looks like they're building out something there with the Corium ecosystem. Algorand at 11 cents. We love taking advantage of Algorand at around these cheap prices and starting our staking journey with it, right? And just seeing it grow, hopefully as time goes on, going towards the end of the year, and hopefully a bull cycle in the 2024 election year, right? You know, Render token is going to have some crazy high volatility, but I do believe in this crypto long term, up 285% on the year though. So we don't like chasing the pump here for this crypto, but it's been creating a very, very strong floor as well, right? It might have already begun its ascension towards the upside here, right? For it could be getting ready for its next run up, and that could be like going up to like $5 or so, or even $10 plus, right? Its all-time high was 903, right? But if we can get a nice little relief rally, maybe go up to like $5 and then a retracement there. Pretty low supply crypto as well, right? 644 million. So, but we don't like chasing the pumps on this channel, right? So 285% up. You know, I guess this one's one that you just kind of chip away at slowly over time, so you don't get too panic selly in terms of the volatility if it goes towards the downside. Elastos has been just hovering around $1.32 here, and they continue to develop as well. So we like Elastos here in the deep reds. But anyways, guys, and just good to see SHX back up. Oh, dude, SHX bringing the bullishness. Let's go, SHX. Let's freaking go. What was it at just like a minute ago? 416. We're at 431. Let's go. Let's go, Blue Crew. I'll stick around for a couple more minutes, see where this bullishness is taking it. Oh, now people are starting to sell off as I like focus on it on the stream here. Guys, we're almost to 30 likes. Appreciate the 14 viewers tuning in. Much love to the Blue Crew. Much love to the Green Giants. RPM runs on Zinfin, XDC, the standard. Let's go. I think Fed now will use XLM. There we go. What blockchain is Fed now using? I'm sure it's going to be a consortium, right? It looks like it's going to be an interoperable future of a ton of blockchains, right? But who are going to be the Pepsi and Coke? I think it'll be, and Sprite, if you will. I think it'll be XRP XLM XDC. It's, you know, Quant's got something to say though, for sure. Quant's definitely making its voice heard in those institutional adoption type of ranks, right? Spelt it. Delta is saying, I hope so. What do you hope so in terms of in terms of XLM being used for FedNow? I hear you. FedNow needs a smart contract platform to program the CBDCs. As of right now, XRP doesn't do smart contracts. I hear you. But if you need a settlement token, like maybe you can use smart contracts with something else and then something else to settle, right? It's either going to be XLM or XDC. XDC does. Yeah, XDC does have smart contracts. And once again, we speculated the reason why maybe XRP and XLM are lagging with the smart contract release or whatnot is because, you know, maybe they're not trying to cut corners in terms of their technology. Like maybe cryptos that have focused so much on the smart contracts aspect first aren't so focused on like just being very consistent and reliable in terms of the payment aspect of things, right? Like some of them are trying to be the hare and cut corners and hoping that adoption can help them fix their problems down the line, right? And maybe that's the strategy to go with. But it seems like what Ripple and Stellars, they're taking the time and doing their due diligence for every step along the way in terms of mass adoption of their respective digital assets. And if it means like kind of slowing, being very, very certain in terms of your smart contract development for this type of unique consensus algorithm, that no other blockchains have, right? Like that's one thing. Like no other consensuses are like federal Byzantine agreement in the crypto space, right? Most of them are proof of stake, right? Most of them are proof, and a lot of them are, or the big ones are proof of work, right? So you got two that have extremely unique forms of consensus and federal Byzantine agreement. And maybe with something like that type of unique of a consensus, it takes a lot of time to develop smart contracts in the correct way for it, right? You got smart contracts going for POW. Sure, you can do that, right? But is that the best thing for the payment system in the future? I don't know. Guys, once again, thanks for your support. Thanks for the love, Blue Crew. Shout out to the Blue Crew. Shout out to the Green Giants. And we're going to tune out over here. We don't want Stronghold's price to dump all of a sudden just because I don't think we have the Alex Cobb effect. I think when we're seeing something rise, we see it rise, and it's fun and it's awesome. But, right now we're just going to, oh man, dude, BTC now up to, it was up to 30,800 just a bit ago. But anyways, much love to the Blue Crew. Much love to the Green Giants, guys. Thanks for continuing to support this channel, guys. Thanks for continuing to hit the likes. Even when we're done streaming, you guys, the support just helps us so much. And thanks to any new subscribers. Once again, once we hit 5,000 subscribers, whoever's in the Blue Crew is officially in the Blue Crew, and this is the OG Blue Crew, right? I don't want to say it's the OG Blue Crew, but this is where it all started, is what I'm saying. Because I have much love for where the Blue Crew and all the other live streams and crypto channels, of course, and I highly support those channels as well. So I'm not trying to say anything else outside of that, but much love to the Blue Crew, much love to the Green Giants, much love to the Ledger Citizens. I'll see you guys in the next one. Always grateful. Thank you, BTC community, XRP community, DLT community, crypto communities, Blue Crew, and all the communities out there. The future is distributed ledger technology, and the future is bright. Our future is bright. I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love, Blue Crew. We got the eye of the tiger, and we keep it crypto. Much love. Adios.
Look at the moon. Oh my god, this is definitely not normal.